Howdy ho, Maplers. It has been quite a little while since I started playing the AB, and I've been meaning to make this video for a good hot minute now. It took longer than expected to actually get the 17-star scroll from the event shop to actually finish star forcing my gear, so that's why this is a little delayed. But finally, I can show off the AB in all her glory. 100% free-to-play progression here. We're sitting at just over 35.5k dex, which is more than adequate to get into a hard boss party, which I just did my first hard boss party runs last week. We did everything up through Varishilla and Seagloom. One of our members still needs to get to 255 for hard dark now, but we should be able to get that in there as well. And for the gear, it's actually nothing too insane. I don't have a 4th ring necessarily. I was thinking about getting a Tower of Oz ring, but they're very expensive, and it kind of goes beyond the scope of what this character was meant to be. I was also looking into getting like a 4th stat ring, but none of them are really in the budget for this character. Like everything on this is kind of done with a shoestring budget. Either I make the gear very cheaply, or it's purchased very cheaply. For the rings, I'm just using my Meso ring from my 250 set currently. This will eventually leave the character once Kali releases, same with all of my 250 set accessories. The Meso and drop gear will be replaced with event rings from this current event, and then from Savior as well. That'll bolster the AB so she has her own set of drop rings in the future, because she'll keep running hard bosses after I'm done leveling her. Then we're using Akana's Treasure, which I managed to get 3 lines of dex on, which is very, very nice. I figured to use Kana Treasure primarily because AB already had one, and it's just a little more convenient than using a solid ring for this spot, or like a Guardian Angel ring, since those are fairly expensive for spares, and my Nightwalker still doesn't even have one. So if I were to get a drop, it would just go to the Nightwalker, so Kana's Treasure was just the ideal pick for me here. Then a 15% dex reinforced ring with 6% on the B-pot. Some of these dex accessories I stole from my Mercedes because, for whatever reason, I don't remember why exactly, the Mercedes had a couple of dex accessories that were just on the character from way back yonder, probably from a cube sale or like a DMT event when I was very fresh in Bara. So I still had some accessories on her that were pretty decent, more than good enough for my purposes here, and since I'm not actively playing the Mercedes, I just transferred them over. 3-line superior ring, 5% dex, and a flat line on the B-pod as well. Very, very nice. Cup is okay, 64 and 5. I think this might actually be better than my Nightwalker's current cup, which is a little depressing, but hopefully I'll get lucky with my fuses. And then probably the best thing I have on this character, a 30% dex superior belt. This was actually like one of the savviest purchases I think I've ever done. I don't know if someone mispriced this in the auction house or not, but it was only 2.7 bill. I feel like somebody mispriced this, but yeah, I picked up a 30% dex for 2.7 bill, and then I got very, very lucky with my B-pot occults landing 2 prime lines of attack on a rare B-pot, which is absolutely wild. As for the weapon, I got very lucky again. It seems to be my blessing here with arcane weapons. 2 lines of attack and a line of IED. Pretty much the perfect 3-line for me. It's great. For the B-pot, it's just attack plus 4%. I don't know if I'll ever go too hard on the B-pots for this character, primarily because I don't intend to make her as strong as the Nightwalker. That would take some serious investment, and I don't know if I'm to that point yet with AB. We'll kind of wait and see how New Age pans out for AB changes. For the pendant, a 21% dex pendant for superior. It does have an epic B-pot, which in the future I'll be able to roll this with occult cubes, thank god. That's pretty much the only reason I picked this one out of the lot. It was a bit more expensive than just buying a 21% dex, but it's well worth it since we should be able to roll this in the future and get like an easy 6% dex out of it. Should be very, very nice, which will be a little bit more of a stat bonus. For the Daybreak pendant, just made a 15% dex pendant. decent flame, decent B-pot, just some flat attack, nothing too outrageous. For the hat, I did make a brand new hat as opposed to reusing my 250 pirate set because if you remember, the 250 pirate set was absolutely atrociously scrolled just for the purposes of being used for both strength and dex pirates. This one, specifically made for dex pirates, infinitely better in every way. 15% dex main pot, 13 attack B pot, pretty much perfect. Then a Twilight Mark. Same with the Nightwalker, I'm trying to use the Dawn Boss set, and since Guardian Angel rings elude me still, using Daybreak plus Twilight Mark is just the way to go. I'm kind of avoiding Sweetwater stuff because it's really not that good anymore. And it's like, this is a decent enough stepping stone. This gear is also nice because it has been announced for KMS that Dawn Boss, Boss Accessory Set, and Pitch Boss items will be P-sockable in the future. So if I do in the future decide to upgrade this character to like Pitch Boss, like that'll ever happen. But if I do, there's the option for trading this to another Dex character as well. And it's just super convenient. Nothing too crazy with the potential, just 2 lines of Dex. Very easy. And then for the Papulatus Mark, I can't wait for the defense lines to be removed, guys. Almost 21% dex, good old defense, showing its ugly head here to ruin everything. Pretty decent flame, pretty decent main pot. Just some attack on the B pot as well, nothing too outrageous. For the top, just 15% dex, nothing too crazy. The flame on this is really nice. This was one of the items we were given by a viewer, which had a really nice flame for dex, although it was scrolled for strength, so I just cleaned it up and re-scrolled it for dex to repurpose it. Works out perfect. And then the pantaloons. These were part of my original 250 pirate set, hence why they're legendary and quite a bit better than the rest of the set. But it was simple enough for me to repurpose these and to get another new set for any future 250 pirates. It just made logical sense for me to do this because it would be the cheapest avenue here. Same for the rest of the Absols. These came from the 250 pirate set, primarily because of the cape, but also because it was just the easiest way to get gear for this character cheaply. Because remaking this stuff at this point in my account here in Barra isn't too difficult. 250s don't need to be terribly strong. A lot of this stuff is very overkill. For the gloves, I was trying to get crit damage and stat, but just like on the Nightwalker, crit damage and decent sharp eyes is probably the most convenient combo of potential lines for gloves, especially when leveling to 275, because just having the convenience of not needing to use decent sharp eyes on your V matrix opens up a whole world of possibilities when you're trying to fit in everything. It's just really nice. Might not be optimal for damage, but god darn it, it's worth it. Shoulder, nothing too insane, just 17% dex. I didn't use any premium attack scrolls or icogs on anything for this character, and I don't think I plan to either. AB doesn't really scale insanely well with attack, so I'm kind of just keeping it budget, using spell traces only for this person. And then my best item, my 6-line earrings. Huge whale status, I know. Possibly the ugliest 6-line I have on this account. It's so gorgeous. I love it. Non-stop 6s for the main pot, 2 flat lines and a 4% for the V pot. Oh, it's so perfect. Mwah, chef's kiss. Then we got an honor roll emblem, which was on this character back when I leveled it to 250. It just worked out. It's kind of overkill having IED on this and my weapon, but beggars can't really be choosers, and I'm not really in the market for getting 3 lines of attack on anything, or for like rerolling my weapon for attack, and boss. So I'm just kind of settling by having more IED than I really need here. And then a Ghost Ship Exorcist badge. The same with the Nightwalker. I'm probably not going to touch the Ghost Ship at all. 2 lines of dex is already more than enough. I'm definitely not going to bother re-chaos scrolling this thing. It's already +3 attack. It's better than what I would have had otherwise. Then we have just the one with the Labyrinth title and our Soul Ring. This is the only thing that I will be replacing in the future. because this is an actual AB secondary, it's fully untradeable, so I don't want to invest too much into it. I'm doing Princess No Now on this character, primarily to get spares from Iconia's treasure, but also to get a secondary from her as well. And then I'll make that my primary secondary, take it to legendary main pot, and try to get like 2 lines of attack and boss on it, if possible. And then the best item on this character. I still need to fix the B pot as it's only 2 lines of flat decks, but the main pot is yeah, a little too good for this character. But this thing's perfect. This character really isn't going to receive a ton of investment like my Nightwalker is, so she's pretty much just going to stay an Absolab character all the way through. She'll probably be 22 Absol once she's like fully finished. And that's really all she needs. This character definitely isn't going to be like main contention, but I do want her to be useful for all of the hard bosses that I plan to do on this character to increase the chances of getting hard boss drops and pitch spares. And then our Glimmering One Droid Heart, just 15% dex, nothing too insane. I'm tempted to reroll the B-Pot because I think just having 10 attack and then flat dex is better than having 2 flat dex and 3 attack, but that'll be something I decide later on. Right now, bonus pot occults are very, very expensive because of the announced changes to bonus pots in the future, where the occults can reroll up to epic tier. So splurging just to get 7 more attack, not really in my wheelhouse at the moment. But yeah, pretty much everything for this character. Most of the new gear, all of the uniques, were either handmade or just like very, very budget pickups from the auction house. I think total investment so far in this character has been around 600 hard cubes and around 200 solid cubes. The only things that I got to legendary for this character are the arcane weapons so far, and then I'll get the soul ring next. So 200 solids is a bit excessive for a weapon, but this potential's way worth it. So it's not too bad. I think total cost for this character so far is probably in the ballpark of like maybe 15 to 20 bill. It's really not that bad for how far she's gotten. She still has a lot of stat to gain from her symbols because just like the Nightwalker, she was nowhere close to symbols being capped out when I started her. So there's still a lot of free stat for me to get from here. And of course, once I get to 260 into Grandis, I've got a whole new symbol set to get to. So pretty much, even if I make no gear upgrades from this point, the AB should end somewhere around like 45, maybe even low 50k stat once everything's said and done, which for a mule character, for like a secondary bosser, that's really good. So far, AB's turned out to be a whole bundle of fun, and she's really showing me how far I can get these characters without really spending all that much. I think going forward for the rest of the 275s, because I do want them all to have their own equipment sets, I think I'm going to employ the same strategies I used here and just make fairly budget unique equips for her, or for them rather, because I have a lot of crafting materials. Oh boy howdy, I got a lot of crafting materials leveling every class in the game to 250, so mass crafting like master craftsman cubes is very easy for me at this point. It's just a whole lot of time. Oh boy, oh. But this is just a short video because I finally got my Twilight Mark to 17 stars. I wouldn't have just an unstar force item in the showcase. But this is what we're working on for the AB so far. She's already done 1 full week of hard bosses, went fairly good. I'm not the biggest fan of AB's bossing because this little fucker, it makes it really awkward to actually coordinate burst with the rest of your party, but the damage is very respectable. It's just clunky. And since the Nova classes are getting looked at in New Age, I do have high hopes for this class. She is strong. Definitely very strong. She's also a really good mobber. Even if you're not Soulseeker farming, she has some very, very good rates. Celestial Roar is a godsend. But I'm already enjoying AB. I haven't had the most time in the universe to actually train this character because of all the bossing I've been doing. It's kind of eating away at my training time, sadly. So she's going quite a bit slower than the Nightwalker did. But slow and steady wins the race, right? I don't want to sprint into grandest dailies. I've already got the Nightwalker struggling through those. Anyways, that would be the gear video for this character. For the Nightwalker, I know a lot of people want to see an updated gear video for her because it is a little out of date. I'm waiting on Violet Cubes to go on sale to actually get her arcades potential because I want them to be 3-line, and Violets are the only budget-friendly way to get them 3-lined for reg server, so I'm kind of just stuck in the waiting game for those, and I'm also waiting on Shining Star Force to actually Star Force my arcanes. So it's the reg server curse. It's just a waiting game for progression right now on her. The closest thing I have to an updated gear video for her is at the end of the Varishilla solo. I show her current gear at the time of the clear, which is pretty accurate to what it is right now. Nothing much has changed just now, but there hasn't been too many changes since the first gear video, and I still want to wait until I actually have some meaningful improvements before re-recording the video. So that's where that's at. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the AB, about like gearing up free-to-play for reg servers, because it's definitely a learning curve that I've been adapting to. It's a lot of work doing this free-to-play, like spending actually $0 on this character and getting her hard boss ready, even with all of the benefits I have accrued from the past and having a frenzy totem at my disposal. It's still pretty difficult, but it's very doable. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help. But see you guys in the next video, right?